love I hit. I don't know if you guys could hear that or not, but I hit play and like loud, or I hit go live and loud car drives by outside. Oop, hold on, let me get my music at a decent level. I probably should have done that beforehand. There we go. All right. What was I doing? Do this right here. So today I'm going to work on this structure, which is intended as a guild hall, I believe. So we've got kind of a variation where it's kind of broken down and kind of a more together one. So I'm going to work on the together one because it's real easy to go in and kind of break stuff up and then just fill in the areas. So let me bring this in. Textures. I remember where I put. Where did I put? I do not remember. Nope, that was not what I wanted. Oh, okay. I put it in the geo. Okay, so let's drag this in here. Make that a default. Oop, that was not what I wanted. Hold on. Bring it in as a sprite. Or not. Hold on a second. Let me get myself a plane. We'll make this back to a default, and I need a plane. That is... a 4098. What's up? That on there. Probably should have just made a plane in Maya, because because I'm going to have to mess with the UV. Actually, you know what? I'm going to make it plain in Maya real quick because I'm going to have to mess with the UVs that way. So while that's opening, how's it going, Snay? How are you doing? Trying to get this together, but I just closed the window I did not want to close. Let me reopen that. And where is my why aren't you opening? Oh, it's still loading my plugins. Doing all right? I hope you're doing well. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good today. Especially for a Monday after they stole an hour of sleep from me on Sunday. Surprisingly awake. And hi, Akon the Fourth? Akon Fourth? I believe that's how. If I butchered your name, I apologize. But welcome to the chat. Okay, so I need a plane real quick. And let's get this to scale. So I need this to be 950. Oops. 951 by 498. And we will export this. I'm just going to throw this on my desktop. Actually, no, I'll throw it in here. FBX, and I'll do this off screen. Guildhall plane. FBX. Let's hop back over to here. And Guildhall plane. There we go. Drop this in the world. Whoop, that was not what I wanted to do. And we will apply that. So now I've got a nice image in here to kind of build off of. I'm going to scale it up based off of some of these older buildings initially, and we'll see how it goes. The only reason I'm bringing this in is because of this little layout. That we have here. It's supposed to be a slightly larger building, so. Hey Nick, how's it going? Let's see how large that is. Pretty large. Let's see in terms of actual scale. Okay, so that's probably larger than I want it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oop, why isn't this? Oh, helps if I actually have snapping turned on. I was doing some prop work yesterday night, dropping some props into our new dungeon zone. So I had that turned off. Actually, why don't I show that off in a little bit? Nick, is there anything in there that I shouldn't be showing that you've been doing, or is it good to show Wyrmsbane? Four. Eight. Okay. Population's still very early. Noted. Why don't I start it off by showing everybody what's been going on? So, without getting too into the lore behind it, because I don't want to give spoilers. I think I still have a character in there. Ham did a nice little document on this dungeon that we're working on. And last Tuesday, I believe. Let me turn off aggro, even though I leveled this character up to 60 so I wouldn't get accidentally ganked when I logged in. And let me turn off the other music so you guys can hear the game music. Anyways, last Tuesday, I just had a creative itch to dive in and do a first pass on the tomb zone that we had written up. And again, I'm not going to get too into too into the lore type stuff, but this is, you know, kind of our first almost production ready zone. There's obviously materials and stuff need to be worked out. I've left, instead of even putting temporary ones on here, I've left just the kind of grid on here because it makes it easier to make adjustments when needed. But yeah, so it's just kind of a tomb / archaeological themed zone. So kind of freestyled this on Tuesday, and I've done a little bit of work here and there over the week. First look at a new dungeon? Pretty much, yeah. Nick has started to kind of populate it a bit. It's going to be exciting to kind of come in here and get to play this zone, hopefully pretty soon. But yeah, this is a new lobby, like a level 1 to level 5 range, I think, is kind of the general idea for the zone. Side note, lighting is, you know, very first pass. The population's a pretty first pass. Some of this, like, is just representational art for now that Goblin needs to concept out eventually, or, you know, I just need to sit down and kind of develop a little bit more, including this statue up here. Ooh, there's more skeletons in here now too. So yeah, just kind of did this over probably 6 or 7 hours last Tuesday. And again, I've done some more work on it since. So I brought in our skeletons in a posable state, so they can be on these, like, sepulchers. But technically, if everything stands, this would be a zone that you could run into and start your career going through dungeons at level 1. Ooh, that's nice. Ali's done some work with the character. It looks like it might still be floating a little bit, but before, when you would walk down these stairs, you'd kind of like fall down them. But that's a lot smoother now. I hadn't noticed that. So, kind of a cool little dungeon. Very, you know, tomb themed. So you got some bones. This spot I was doing a little experiment. So I just took our skulls and kind of stuck them up against this wall. Just kind of 3D. I haven't actually asked the team how they think of this outside of Goblin. And then this one is actually those skulls just kind of squished. Not completely flat, but pretty flat. But there's just enough depth that it almost feels kind of like a normal map. So there's a little bit of light interaction. But it's closer to that classic EverQuest feel where they used to just use flat images, you know, kind of projected on the walls. So, you know, that's more 3D. This one's a little bit flatter. So I've been doing a little bit of testing, and I've actually played around with a couple different materials as well. The other two aren't in yet. Looks sweet. Thanks, Whitechapel. It'd be fun if every once in a while one of the skull's eyes glowed. I believe, I can't remember if the skulls themselves have the eyes still in them and they're just hidden, or if it's the skeletons. One of them, I'm pretty sure does, if not both. So that is something we could potentially do. And right now, literally all I did is copied and pasted it. I think eventually I'd want to not have the exact same pattern in here. So maybe, you know, get a little bit fancier with all of the little bone piles in the ossuaries. But I was just doing it kind of a quick pass for now. So then you get down here to the more elite area. See the lids of the sarcophagi have been slit open in places. So, yeah, that's kind of what I was up to most of last week. And then I apologize for not getting more streams in, considering I was off, but I was either doing stuff in documents or I was in the process of like listening to stuff while I was doing work that was helping motivate me. And I couldn't have it going at the same time as I was streaming, so yeah, okay, so that is Wyrmsbane Tomb. That's not the full name, but that's enough of a teaser for you guys. And I'll head back out. And actually, let's head over to Night Harbor. You like the lighting in the room with the blue torches? Are you talking about the really elongated room? Or the one with the bridge? Actually, I can run back over there real quick before I zone into Night Harbor. Closest one with the wall torches. I like the pedestals too, but the way it throws off the walls. Are you talking about right here? This area I need to actually fix the lighting a little bit. Nice. Let me zone back into Night Harbor. And I'm going to run around on that image. It should have collision. Actually, no, I don't think it's going to. Well, we'll see in a second. I'm almost there anyways. Boots of speed. I still need to put these down on the ground. I do not think this is going to have collision, and I'm right. don't know, it actually kind of does feel large enough. These are supposed to represent arches, if I remember correctly. So that should be good. Oh, hey, Goblin. How's it going? Okay, I think I'll play it with it at this scale. We can always scale it back if needed. And let me bring this guy out of that just in case I turn on the collision. You remember this? Seems like forever ago since you did that. That painting. And where is it? So for everybody who's hopped in since here, this is what I'm going to be working off of. You can see a little representation of it down there, but I'll have it on my second screen so you guys unfortunately won't see it the entire time. But I need space to work. Okay. So... Yeah, they did represent arches. That's what I remembered. You could pull it into the scene. Yeah, it is in the scene. It's just kind of hidden by the older buildings. Playing around with the scale first. Goblin, when you were drawing this, human scale, where are you thinking? Like right here? Like that line is essentially the head. So then they've got a lot of space above. I'm feeling this is a larger entryway. But I think to scale, okay. So what I think I'm going to end up having to do is shrink the front part a bit. Oop, come on. More like that. Or maybe 4 by 6. That's gonna be really tall if I do a 6 though. We'll try it. So something like that is gonna be a pretty grand door because of human scale. Actually, it's 4 by 2. Or maybe... that could be our passageway. Maybe we'll do it 4.5. There we go. That's closer to the dimensions. And then it's not, the front is probably not going to reach here unless I bring this in, and then the rest of the building ends up being smaller. I think bringing the entryway down is gonna be better. 4 by 5. Oops. Alright, let me bring this back up. Okay, so let's kind of start this. And make it 4. And then this has got an angle to it. That looks pretty good. Stream lag? Yeah. Definitely get some stream lag for sure. Also, there's probably a good amount of Harrison not reading the screen the second a chat pops up lag. I'm pretty sure that's a theme of this stream as well. Okay, so rough door. Potentially we can round out this stuff a little bit, but for now I'm gonna keep it pretty boxy. Okay. Snap that to a grid. Oops. There we go. I hate when you snap something with Pro Builder and then like seconds later, if you move it without unselecting it, it like hops back to what it previously was. Maybe the inside could also ramp up. Are you talking about in elevation? Can't tell if that's floating. I don't think it is. I think we're good. Okay. It's like 2.5 times the size of that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's have this use world. Excuse me, guys. Ugh. Inside the door, I mean, so the ceiling in the door is parallel with the roof rather than a wedge. I hope that makes sense. So that the ceiling of the door is parallel with... Oh, so you mean like this, instead of it being flat, it kind of tapers with that edge? We could try that. I'll do that more when I get to the interior stuff, though. Okay. So, doing quick hand measurements off screen, literally using my hand. Super high tech, I know. These are about this stacked on top of it, and then about a half-ish. So I'm gonna just kind of start around there. So let's, oops, get this snap back to 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. And that is the half right there. So this will pop up 1 full one. And we'll snap this. In the center. looks like there's 2 columns on the sides. So I'm going to take this, duplicate it. Right around there. Okay, I'm gonna let you do your thing. God, is so cool seeing a 3D, or seeing the concept come into 3D. Yeah, it's definitely fun. It's a fun process. This one I think is gonna be. I think the biggest challenge is the building itself. According to the layout, is pretty circular in front, and then kind of goes back. But this kind of looks like head-on, even though I know this is head-on. So I'm gonna have to kind of freestyle the backside of it a bit, I think. But we shall see. Okay. Let's work on the cooling tower portion. Get that boxed in, and then from there I can start to worry about some of this other stuff. Actually, I could probably... bring this out more. And Goblin, feel free to, if you continue to watch, throw out suggestions and stuff. Negative 45. Not 48. And this is actually slightly smaller. Very slightly smaller. That's actually probably spot on. And we'll make this one 45. Actually, hold on a second. There we go. Okay. So now let's work on this cooling tower section, because I think I can, like, after I get this kind of boxed in a little bit, I can probably extrude these walls down a pinch to kind of build out some of the main structure. At least that's the hope. Walls here. I'm at 6. How does 8 look? How does 10 look? There we go. More what I want. 45. Make this use world, so I make sure I'm snapping to the same coordinate system. Okay. Let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, that's centered. That one's good. This one is not. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. To fix that later. This is one of those things where I may, depending on how this turns out, I may make a version of it in Maya, which is what I did before the blue house is up there. Okay, so this needs to pop up. Probably a meter. Okay. And that'll move up. Oop, that was way too much. Something kind of like that. Hey, Squid Pasta. I am trying to build this in Pro Builder. I was just mentioning this might be one that I end up doing in Maya. Just because it's a pretty complex shape. But I want to give it a go tonight in Pro Builder, see how it looks. But that's probably too tall. And then we will. Alright, no, I'm not going to do it that way. I was going to bevel it, but I do not like the way Pro Builder bevels. So I'll just do it manually with an edge loop. Oh, that's cool. Awesome. For you guys that are joining in right now, hang around to the end of the stream and I'll show off the new dungeon again. Which I did last Tuesday. that's got... See, that's the problem. This part in here needs to be more rounded. So this needs to be more rounded. Okay, so let's... So how do I want to do this? Let's delete that face. Yeah, I'm going to run into the same problem. My problem is I can't edge slide in Pro Builder. I don't think. I don't think I can edge slide this. Where's the orientations? Oh, no, that's hide secret on off. Orientation, local. Oh, never mind. I can on this one. Although it's about to cause me an issue. Hold on a second. See, this is why, this is the one thing a Pro Builder is not good at, is curved objects. I can't get it to, I can select, if I select all the edges I want to slide, it doesn't follow the edge. Oh, it's so annoying. I'm just going to continue roughing this out. I'm going to keep roughing this out in here, but I guarantee you I'm going to be doing this, and I'm going to be exporting this out, bringing it into Maya, and rebuilding it. But I can at least get the dimensions kind of a little bit more fine-tuned here. Oof. Alright, you know what? We're going to not worry about that. We're just going to worry about getting the backside and the interior in. And then we're going to go to Maya. Because this is going to drive me crazy. I can already tell. Entire edge loop worth of faces, so that is find a street. All right, let's do it this way. There we go. Pull that out. And I'm gonna, again, I'm not gonna worry about the upper portion of it right now because, again, I do not get along with Pro Builder when it comes to curved surfaces. I need more control. Okay, so we will kind of just freestyle the interior a bit. Hey, Lord Zucker, how's it going? And I need to delete the bottom. Edges, whoops, and pull them in a bit. Ah! These edges. I guess that one was already lined up. Awesome. Up to about there where the cooling tower would reach it. I'm gonna fill this hole back in for now. Okay. Move that down. Grab all of these parts. Snap this down to our ground level. And we'll hold the step down. Okay. So let's see if this at least feels right. And then I'll export this out into Maya and start to build an actual version of this. Because I'm not happy with how this is turning out. And actually, while I'm in here, since I'm going to be working in Maya, I can show off the dungeon as well. But scale-wise, this is working. It's been a while since I've worked in Maya on this project for sure. Well, I take it back. On stream, it's been a while since I worked on in Maya yesterday. This can work scale-wise. Definitely could use some tweaking and stuff on the interior, but I'm more worried about getting the exterior right now. So while I'm in here, let's zone into Wyrmsbane. Wyrmsbane 2? I think I'd remember what I named the level. So, let's turn off the aggro. So, again, if anybody was here in the very beginning, you kind of already saw this, but this is a... Let's turn off the music again. This is a dungeon zone that I threw together last Tuesday. Just kind of needed a night off from Night Harbor, and this is what came of it. This is all based off of a write-up. Ooh, that scared me. This is all based off of a write-up that Ham did, so this is all based on our lore. So, yeah, I just kind of built off of the descriptions of it, and kind of, I freestyled to some bit in here to kind of give it that old school EQ vibe. Some of it's still pretty rough in areas. So, for instance, like this is just kind of a placeholder for a statue, and then same thing up here. This is a placeholder of the statue that's supposed to be over here. So old school feeling, reminds me of Befallen. Yeah, I was thinking Befallen. I was looking at both Befallen and Guck as reference. I need to come in and do another pass and kind of EQ up the floors and the ceilings a bit, so get a little bit of that kind of broken geometry in areas. Right now it's super smooth, but it's good. It's good for initial testing and stuff like that. So as you can see, Nick's already starting to kind of populate it based off of the lore in the write-up. So slowly starting to build this out. And this is a level 1 to level 5 dungeon. So, you'll be able to, technically, you could hop in here pretty quickly. Once you have, a weapon and stuff, you can come running in here and adventure through your first dungeon. This is dungeon ambience that was previously being used in what we are in the current iteration of Fallen Watch. But it has been plugged into here for now. But the whispers and stuff are really creepy. I was actually just thinking of that when you said that. Camp check. But yeah, so, dungeon population's kind of going in. It more so in the upper levels of... Oops, as I get lost in the dungeon I just built. But, yeah, this was basically my Tuesday last week was building this out. And then, making tweaks and stuff. We got, I think... Wednesday night, I think we had it up so that we could run around in it. So, had to do some changes and, noticed things like torches and stuff floating off the walls and things like that. But how long did this take? The initial rough out took about 6 or 7 hours, somewhere around there. I wasn't actually counting, but yeah, it's about 6 or 7. And then I probably put another 6 or 7, or probably about another 6 to 10 in throughout the week. Doing minor adjustments, running around, working on some materials and stuff. So right now, there's an iteration on kind of like a stacked bone. I need to get in the second iteration of. Actually, I need to do a paint over the second iteration. So like bones kind of stuck in here. I also have one where the bones are kind of running horizontally as well. Right now, these are literally all just copy and paste, except for this one, which is using the 3D skulls at full uniform scale. And then these ones are actually the skulls from the skeletons. They're just crushed. They're just squished down just enough that they get a little bit of, they can catch the light just a little bit. So it's almost like a normal map. But I mean, I might actually make those as normal mapped skulls at some point if that becomes too taxing. But there's not a whole lot going on in this zone, so I don't think it's that big of an issue. But yeah, so kind of building up more things for the estuary. Like I think eventually like having bones and stuff kind of running up and down here with skulls, and you know, playing around with it so it's not all just the same copy paste skull setup. Got to fix those patrols. The one patrol made me almost jump like 5 minutes ago. I wasn't expecting the footstep noise, and I came around the corner, and this guy was walking at me. I was like, oh, jeez. But yeah, so kind of building that out. We need to I started a list of textures, but we got to figure out how we want to treat the walls and the floors and the ceilings. Like what kind of materials we want in here. Do we want them to be just stone? Do we want them to be more like it's been tunneled in and kind of, you know, plastered over? Maybe not like Egyptian style art, but kind of like how the Egyptians plastered over the inside of their tombs. Stuff like that. Do we want, you know, like skulls lining the walls or things like that? So those are all things we kind of figure out still with some of the set dressing stuff. But for the most part, this, you know, it's a pretty functional zone already for, you know, like a day or two's worth of work. Yeah. So I'm going to hop out of here. And we will go back into Night Harbor. And I'm going to select all of these. Everything I have on here? I believe so. Actually, you know what? Let me really quickly, while I'm in here and I have the picture, I'm going to block out where these other ones are. But yeah, hopefully soon we'll be able to run around in there and do some play testing, which will be fun for sure. X -1 did not do what I wanted it to. Z -1. That really did not do what I wanted it to. Huh. I'm really confused why scaling it is rotating it and rotating it in that direction. Okay, so now I've got those. I am also going to grab these faces and pull them in just to kind of mark where the oh, I guess there's supposed to be one here too. Kind of mark where these arches are supposed to be. Local normal. And the rotation. I'll have to play with that a little bit. Okay, so now that I've got all those pieces, let's grab them all. Have that one selected. Do not have that one selected. And 5. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, well, save the file because I made some adjustments, but then I'm going to export. Exporting quads. Okay, that should be fine. Okay, so let me delete that, and I will import oh shoot, hold on a second. I forgot to merge these. Let's merge objects and then export because I don't want to bring in a ton of separate pieces. And my music stopped playing. Hold on a second. Alright, so that's exported. Let's get the music playing. And import this again. Okay, so for some reason Pro Builder likes to export it out way underscaled. Modify center. Okay. We'll make a new layer. Oh, I have a space in it. That's right. It doesn't like spaces. All right, and I will make that a reference so I can't touch it. All right. Working as intended. Okay. So let's. I'm gonna start with the part that I was trying to work out up here. Because that's probably the more technical spot I need to figure out. Let's bring this up and get this down to 12. I think that was about what I got away with on the other buildings. That felt right in terms of the level of detail they had. So that'll be the top of that. Let me take off the cap just to make it easier to work with. Something like that. Oops. Hitting the wrong button. Alright, and we will soften those edges. It's pretty good. Do a bevel. About right. We'll extrude these out. Okay, so where's my front? This is the front. So I'm gonna need to So in my head, I'm just trying to think about how I want the edges to flow. So I've got these columns in here that need to curve, and it looks like they merge in before the edge. So let me give myself that edge where they merge in. And then 2. Really need to be 3 if I want to do it by 4, so I need to rotate this. Let's bring out the calculator because I don't want to do math. 60 divided by 12 equals 30, which half will be 15. Hey, Letterin. How's it going? Alright, so if I'm doing 3, that one, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, okay. And then I think I'm going to just bevel these two. Now that I'm thinking about it, so 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Good in a guild meeting in EQ2. Nice. I haven't played EQ2 in forever. Although admittedly, I didn't play a ton of EQ2 myself. I think I only got maybe to level 30. That was years ago. What class do you play in EQ2? I will give everybody one guess on what class I played. Sure, nobody will get it. Yes. That maybe? Mystic, can't get enough of the bar chamois action. Nice. I have frequently boxed my friend's Barbarian Shami in EQ1 and made various duplications of that character as a box and on whatchamacallit, TLPs and EMU servers. Although I think the one or two of the times I did it on, I made his character on a TLP, he ended up deciding to start playing, so he took the character back. But a Shaman Ranger combo is actually a pretty nice box if you are boxing a Ranger. Alright, so grab those. And we will merge them. And now I'm going to actually let me go back. Let's see how this works. Sometimes bevel is weird, and sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't work when you really want it to, and then other times it does. This is one of those ones where it may work amazingly, or it may not. Let's save this file. I've only gotten up to dual boxing with a bruiser and a kanji, but I've been dual boxing in role-playing events and been able to have some convincing dialogue with yourself. I never got into the role-playing of two characters at the same time. My role-playing abilities are not all that great though, so that worked beautifully. That did exactly what I wanted it to do. Sweet. Okay, let's clean up some of these edges that have hardened the normals from all the stuff that I've been doing. Pretty good. Actually, I should have not extruded that already, so let's bring that back up. There we go. inch more, and we'll bevel. There we go. Hey, role-playing is for all skill levels. As a role player, I can say I'm just as happy to include you in a story. I mean, role-playing's fun. I'm just not great at it. It's definitely a fun aspect of the game. Part of it with EverQuest, especially back when I was playing it a ton, being dyslexic, typing and stuff was not something that I was super good at. Although, legit, I've said this since high school, EQ is probably the thing that helped me the most with typing, because as a pooler, before I discovered the amazingness that is macros, would like hit backspace so I would auto run, and then I'd be like, 5 mobs incoming, or whatever, you know, like run. That type of stuff. I did that all by hand. Same thing with like raids. Like I would frequently, my server had a group call, or an open, like a pug raid channel called Barb Raid, and that's basically how I got Elemental Flag during Planes of Power. But I did it so often I ended up leading the kite channel a lot, and I had to learn to type in a more adequate way than I had previously known how to. Okay, so we got that. Although I need to figure out... Okay, so at some point this needs to kind of break back up. So probably right about there. Yeah, something like that. And then these, let's delete the insides of these faces. Rude. Thickness. It looks about right. Might not be perfect, but it's close enough. So for you guys that were watching earlier, you can see how the tools in this software package are just a lot a lot more conducive with modeling shapes like this. Same thing with the tier 3 buildings that I was working with last week. Over the weekend I had modeled them in Maya. It's just some shapes are just easier to deal with in a software package like this. The big benefit is being able to, so I'm not locked to, you know, cardinal directions or normals, but that don't necessarily rotate. I can turn on like edge slide and literally just slide it down the edge. Or I could even turn on like surface slide, which I rarely use. And I can move this and it's just locked to the surface itself. So let me make sure I have these merged. Looks good. Oops, still got some extra. Oops. There we go. I probably should have done it on this one too. Darn it. That was like 88. 80. That looks right there. Delete some of these interior spots, like so. Cool, now we've got the inner portion of this cooling tower. Now what I'm going to do is oops, hold on a second. One of the great things about 3D, if you're not paying attention, you can easily grab something you didn't want to grab. So now I get to do that again. Okay, let's grab these faces and delete them. Oops, let's turn off surface line. Okay, so now let's go back to what I was doing. I'm going to grab these edges in here. Nail that in. So these are one of our ideas for representing cooling towers, which was kind of like ancient, or not even ancient, but just older, but previous to air conditioning, a way of cooling structures in the Middle East. So push those down for now. Depending on what we want to do with the roof structure, maybe we end up showing a little bit more of that. That should be enough to sell it from the outside. We'll soften these. So you guys can see how, oops, just lost all of my, why is Task Manager open? Just lost all my windows. There we go. But you guys can see now how this is very similar to this. I may, oops. My computer's being weird. I may end up bringing that radius in just a pinch because it's looking a little bit wider. Oh, come on. Apparently I can't use a mouse tonight. That's looking closer. But this edge is not right now because I did that adjustment. scale that in. Scale this one in. Whoops, not the whole thing. So welcome anybody who is new to the stream. Sorry, I really haven't kind of talked about what we're doing here at all tonight. So I am working on some structures for our city zone. We are making a indie MMO that is very inspired by the kind of the first generation of MMOs. So think your EverQuests, your Ultima Onlines, your Asheron's Call, Dark Age of Camelot, kind of the late 90s, early 2000s MMOs. Our game is called Monsters and Memories. I'll hop back into the game towards the end of the stream so everybody can see it if they haven't seen it before. But let me throw up some commands just in case anyone hasn't seen these. This is a link to our website if you want to get more information on the game. This is a link to our Discord. We've got a community of over 725 people now, I think, something like that. Great place to kind of go in for different conversations just on game design, on our game, on other MMOs and other games. That is our mailing list. That's another way, if you don't want to join Discord, that you can kind of stay up to date on what's going on. Also, playtesting will be tied to that as well. So if you want to join us for playtesting, potentially by the end of the year, that is our goal. Make sure you sign up there. These are the other streamers on the team. Currently, we're a team of 10, so about half the team now is streaming. Make sure to check out their channels as well. We all stream different things. I'm more of the environment art side of things. Sean does a lot of kind of overall showing off of kind of progress, and we do group testing and stuff on his stream. Zukin does character and critter art. Goblin does concept art, but he also does animations and some 3D modeling and texturing and all sorts of stuff. Nick does design and Q&A streams, and Ali does programming. Although he's posted his stuff to our YouTube channel. So if you want to get caught up on previous VODs, make sure to check us out on there. Sorry, I'm sitting here and thinking how I want to handle this one spot. But yeah. So all of our videos get posted up there a day or so after they stream. So you can get caught up there. And if you are watching on YouTube, please remember to like and subscribe and comment below on how you feel about the work that's been going on the stream. We appreciate all the support. You know, it helps us get the word about M&M out there. Again, M&M being Monsters and Memories. Okay, so let's take a look. Okay, so that's good. And of course I triangulated those. Alright, so let's redo our entrance. Let's see if I can line this up. Oh, excuse me, I'm fighting hiccups. I feel like I'm always fighting hiccups or sneezing whenever I start streaming. I feel like that's just a theme with my body. Oh, you're streaming. Here's some hiccups. Okay, So I know this is going to be off-center for the time being, but I will fix it afterwards. I just want to build it directly off of this while it's on the like the actual like world coordinates for meters. All right, so bring that, snap that there. Snap. Let's get this. Okay. It's like my snapping is off, but it's the model is still slightly off. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so we got that. And let's turn the reference back on so I'm not constantly grabbing it. Because that can get super annoying super quick when you're modeling and when you're modeling off of a model and you're constantly like grabbing it, or if it's like a reference plane, constantly accidentally clicking it is super frustrating. So the concept has this rounded. I'm going to attempt to bevel this edge and see how it looks. But I'm not going to bevel it too smooth. I might even just do one, something like that. And then yeah, honestly, that might be what I do right there. Still keeps it boxy, but fits the concept pretty well. And then we'll do the same thing in here. And then we will clean up our edge flow because it right now is garbage. Still is garbage because I got these triangles floating there, but I'll get them in a second. There we go. Okay, so we got that. This going to need to come forward. All right, now I'm going to recenter this. Actually, no, not yet. Getting ahead of myself. So I'm just using the bevel right now to kind of make sure these are evenly spaced because they're not where I wanted them. Or it doesn't, the snapping wasn't where I wanted it. I'll just bevel these to split them. And I'm not planning on animating this or subdividing it or anything like that, so I'm just going to build the triangles right into it. Because this is all getting triangulated when it goes into Unity anyways, so I'm just going to clean up the edge flow just a pinch. Like so. Alright, let's try so we can see these. Extrude them up. Wow, that was really close to being where I wanted them. Take a look at it from the side. Just want to make sure I actually extruded them up straight. And that looks pretty straight. Awesome. Those. Do I want to? Meter? Yeah, they were. Thank you for the follow. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna mess this up. Dimitri Maximov Galahar. I apologize for messing that up. But thank you for the follow. Definitely appreciated. Okay, so let's bring these up. Actually, you know what? Let's bring that up. Like so. Let me make sure these are flat, because they're probably not. Oh shoot, no. There we go. That's what I wanted. And then we'll bring this to the same height we had previously. Looks pretty good. All right. Now these need to, oops, extrude them back like that. Because they're going to need to actually attach to this, because unlike before when I was using the other shape from Pro Builder, this needs to, like, this column needs to essentially attach. So this cooling tower represents like that. Although I'm going to have to play around with it a bit. I may end up having to tier this a little bit more. So kind of like how this is kind of going in. I'm either going to have to make this larger, I think, or I'm going to have to tier it to make it work. You can see how wide this was, and then this is so much thinner. Oops, and I somehow switched off of my whatchamacallit. Alright, so we got that. Let's play with that. So from like there. And then. Oops. Hold on, let me turn off this. I'm going to delete this top portion because I don't need it anymore. Actually, I never really needed it. I cared more about the overall length. Yeah, so you can see how much thinner this is than the walls. So I think it might be better to raise this up a bit and then give it kind of playing off the shapes that are here. Kind of give it more of like a tiered build up, but I'm gonna have to raise this up just a little bit higher than it actually is in the concept to do so. All right, so we've got that, and then we'll pull. Hold it a second. I could have sworn I fixed this. Alright, I guess we're doing that again. Actually, you know what? What am I doing? Delete that, and we'll just extrude these down. Trying to get fancier than I need to be. Okay. Alright, so play off that shape. I would be extruding these out. And then these up. Oop, that's not gonna work. Hold on, why is that not world? There we go. That's still not gonna work because it has that bevel. So we will add a edge to both of those. And then we'll grab these faces. Move those up. Down. Soften those. Okay, it's looking fairly decent. Oops, that was not what I wanted. It's actually working pretty well. I may not have to tear it off as much as I thought I was going to. Just adding those little pieces did enough to the silhouette, I think. Okay, so let's start working on the walls. Actually, you know what? Let me bring back. I deleted the plane was the first thing I did when I got in here. I actually kind of want to look at the image again. So where's my plane? I want this to be 915 by 498. Scale this up, and we will assign a new material. To find it, go. Nope, that was not what I wanted you to do. Alright. Don't know why extract is not working. Oh, probably because I was hitting bridge. Ha! Helps if you use the correct tool. Oh, damn it, I hate when this happens. Normative history, there we go. Just throw that in the background. That's less what I care about than this. And let's scale it from the center. Top. Oops. Okay, so now I have them on two separate layers. All right. So I need one more column, essentially. Or actually, no, this column is essentially this. I basically closed this. I made this smaller. This is thinner to fit the scale width-wise, and I had to elongate or to keep the height the same. I'm gonna play around with one side. That way, I have the side here. Let me increment and save as well. That way, I have a side to come back to if I decide to this isn't working, and I have to delete all the spaces and stuff that are in there. I'm just kind of real quickly playing around with how this could work, and then I will clean a lot of this up. Okay, that actually worked. Just have to figure out how this all connects back together. Alright, so let's delete all that. Let's actually extract instead of using bridge to extract, because it usually helps to actually use the tool you're intentionally or intending to use. Let's mirror that. Whoa, that did not mirror correctly. Zero that out. What is with my computer and not mirroring correctly today? Why is it rotating? It's doing that in 2 programs. That is bizarre. We'll do it with the actual mirror tool. Okay, that worked. Except that I have the settings wrong. Not sure what I wanted to do. Let's not combine it. Okay, I do not know what's going on with my computer today. Alright. Sometimes you have to just get creative and make your computer do what you want it to do. Alright, so there we go. And we will... Oops, helps if this is all snapped into one piece. Like that. Oops, that was higher than I wanted it. Actually, can I just grab... image go. I know that this has a little window here. You can actually see it better in this image. So there's a little window kind of above it. So I know I want edges here and here. Oh yeah, my door is not centered because I was modeling it off of that. So let's center this again. Make sure all of this ground plane stuff is actually on the ground. It's one of those 3D modeling when you're playing around with it. The second you start assuming things are in the right place, they tend not to be, and then you end up being sad later when you have to go back and fix stuff. So just wanted to double check on that. Okay, so that is good. And I'm just snapping everything to the grid because it makes everything, lining everything up so much easier when you use a grid. Okay, so that's good. Oops, that's not what I want. I just want these edges. What is that? There we go. It's weird. Oh, apparently I had something else selected. I'm like, why is that not acting like I have the right selection? Because I didn't. That is a snap off. Yes, it is. Oh, it's because this is off. What did I just say about assuming everything is correct? You don't want to do it. What is this? Apparently this face is not flat. Not that it's a really big issue, but I will flatten it out. Okay, so we got that. I just need to finish cutting in this doorway. That's gonna be the window. Actually, no. We'll leave those for now. Looks pretty good. Alrighty, so that is good. Now I should have enough edge loops here. And I can just snap these. like so. Delete those. Also, if anybody in here actually is new to Maya and is using it, the hotkey that I just used that you couldn't tell, you hit Control when you hit delete. You actually delete both the edge loop. So if I drop, for instance, if I delete these two edges, normally there's still a vertex there. Nice tip: if you hit Control and delete, you delete the vertex as well. So anybody is new to Maya, there's a nice time saver for you. Okay, so now let's bring this in. Look at the reference, because the reference interior looked pretty good. Set it here. Make sure these edges are all on meter lines in case I want to do something in Pro Builder later. The nice thing about Pro Builder is I can take this mesh and Pro Builderize, which is actually what it's called. I can Pro Builderize the mesh and do more edits if I need to, but I do like keeping stuff on the grid, so we'll do that. And then oops, sorry. Attempting not to make everybody sick when I do camera moves, but sometimes things get a little wonky. I apologize. What is going on with this edge and this edge? Oh, hold on. Oh, my reference. See, that's why I like keeping it where you can't select it. Because I was starting to move stuff around that I didn't want to move. Hold on, that edge is not following that. This one? That one is. This one is not. Let's make sure that they're the same size. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so then it's this edge that just needs to be bumped over. No? Yeah, okay, we're good. You're not gonna let me snap? What's going on? Let's hide the Pro Builder one. There we go. And snap. Ooh, that is not what I want. Let's do something like a halfway point. There we go. Like that. Though I noticed this edge is drifting. What is drifting? Oh, the front? Yep, had it and I lost it. I love when you release a mouse and it causes you to like move that mouse as you're like deselecting. It's always fun. Oh. Okay. Looking pretty good. Ooh, I even get a little bit more height to play with. Okay, so that looks pretty good for now. What I'm gonna end up having to do is figure out how to close up this roof. I'm not gonna be doing that on stream right now, because it is getting late, and I need to start getting my kids ready for school and get some sleep. So let me finish. Actually, hold on. I should do this way. Let's grab those. That's a meter. That to a meter. Really need to figure out why Maya has this weird bug where you can't see stuff from certain window perspectives. It didn't used to be like that. I think that might be. I think it's a bug that showed up with 2022. Just need to figure out why it's doing that, because it is annoying. Oops. That's another thing that's been weird. Maya's been, for a while there, wasn't as bad with the selecting through faces, and all of a sudden, I've been having that issue again. Something probably changed in the update, and I'm not sure what it is. I need to figure out. I need to fix the settings. Because I'd rather use this version than the old version. Cool. Looking pretty good. What I could do for now, just save, I'm gonna save again. Is I could just do a fill hole on this, and then essentially what I'll have to do is come in here and actually I guess what I could do is just, it depends on if we want to keep this flat or not up top. I could just do a triangulate on this. Like that, and then I can clean up the triangles a little bit too. Ooh, yeah, definitely need to clean up the triangles a little bit. That is not right. Yep, I knew it. Hold on. Let's... I forgot to delete the bottom of an extrusion. So, like that, essentially. Something like that. Honestly, shocking how fast this is going. I've been watching my friend in college model a phone, and that thing is the devil. Then again, low poly art style. True. You know, I've been doing this for... I've been modeling stuff for 16, 17 years now, something like that. So, especially in Maya, I know my way around it really well. Phones, depending on if you're doing like a high poly realistic rendering or not, can be, I mean, you know, it's a pretty straightforward shape, it looks like, but there's actually like a lot to it to a degree. Especially if you're trying to do high poly and subdivide it, you have to pay attention to the edge flow, and that type of stuff will take a lot longer to make sure the edge flow is right. So you model it lower poly just to make it easier to edit. The less vertices you have, the less detail you have, the easier it is to change things. And then you know, you can subdivide it. Granted, this is not this is all triangulated, so when you subdivide this looks like garbage. But actually, yeah, that phrase, his phone case is high poly. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, this came together pretty nicely, considering I just modeled it twice, essentially. But yeah, so probably gonna start to wrap this up. And then hopefully I'll have this in engine by next stream on Wednesday. Hopefully I'll have this done. I don't see why I shouldn't have time tomorrow to kind of clean up the rest of it. Even if it's in a kind of a rough state, to get it in there, test it out, run around. But for everybody who's here, again, we're making an MMO that is based off of, you know, more of the classic first generation MMOs, so late 99, early 2000, that era. So your Ultima Online, your EverQuest, Dark Age of Camelot, you know, Asheron's Call, things like that. Oh, I forgot I was back in here. For anybody who has not already seen this, this is our new dungeon. It's still kind of in a gray box state, but we're beginning to populate it. I did this Tuesday of last week. Busted this out in a day, and I've done a little bit of editing here and there since then. But it is called Tomb of the Last Wyrmsbane. It's about all the lore you're gonna get out of me. But essentially it's a tomb. So archaeological dig in a tomb gone wrong. That's your theme. So lots of undead, lots of skeletons, kind of a befallen feel to a degree. Needs a little bit of geopaths on the ceiling and on the floors to kind of break it up a little bit. Right now it's just kind of straight, straight, you know, flat floors. Need to kind of, you know, make it a little jankier looking. You love that the archaeological dig going on in these lost tombs, even when they go wrong. Yeah, definitely. But, yep, so kind of playing around with some of the textures. Some of the lighting a bit. Again, all this is, you know, early stage, rough out, but we're starting to populate it. I'm going to start play testing in it soon, hopefully. I'm sure you'll see it on other people's streams as we go along. But this is an actual dungeon that we will be using in the game with in-game lore. And yeah, so exciting. Came together pretty quick. Still needs, obviously, you know, texture passes and stuff like that. Art passes need to happen as well, but the general idea is there, the general feel is there, and I'm super excited to see this place fully populated and stuff like that. Obviously, you can see up here, Nick's been working, kind of placing the named and then kind of working from the entrance back. So we got some undead stuff in here. But yeah, that is my stream for the night, guys. Again, if anybody's new here, we are making Monsters and Memories. Again, it's a first generation MMO inspired kind of classic indie take on those styles of games. And then if you would like to join our Discord, we've got like 725-ish people in there now. So we got a nice community. We talk about game design and our game. You can ask us questions. But there's all sorts of fun conversations that go on in there. This is our mailing list. If you don't want to join the Discord, but you wanted to stay up to date, that's one way to do it. Also, it's going to be tied into playtesting. That we're hopefully going to have people in and testing with us by the end of the year. So stay tuned to that and make sure you join the mailing list. This is the other streamers on the team. There's about 10 of us on the team now, so about half, a little over half of us stream or upload videos in some manner. I'm mostly environment art and level design streams. Sean, who's the loving robot, will kind of do like overviews of kind of what's going on in the game, design conversations, play testing, things like that. Zukin does character and critter art. Goblin does concepts. He also does texture work and animation, a little bit of modeling here and there. So he does a little bit of everything, although most of his streams, I believe, are concept-based, from at least most of the ones I've caught. Nick, who... Goblin and Nick were in chat. I don't know if they're still in chat. He does design and testing streams, so check those out. And then Ali hasn't streamed on Twitch yet, but he has put stuff on our YouTube channel. Although it's not been directly related to M&M, it was kind of a tutorial series. Our programmers don't have as much freedom to stream just because of security reasons and stuff like that with the code. But the YouTube, if you are not already subscribed, please subscribe. We definitely appreciate all of the support. So like, subscribe, comment below on what do you think of our new dungeon here. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me, and the new follows. I will catch you guys on Wednesday. My streams, for anybody who's new to the channel, are Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I will see you guys on Wednesday. Later, guys.